All right, guys, so we are here today. It is Monday morning. It's a little bit early for me to be streaming, to be honest. Like, it really is a little early, but that's okay. Honestly, I wish my voice sounded like this all day. I really do, you know. Bitcoin breaking 40K, huh? Bitcoin at 42K. All right, team. All right, today's Monday. We got a big job report this week too. Yeah, I couldn't figure out for the life of me what was wrong with my sound yesterday. For the big streams, I might just stop using StreamYard. Because what was really weird is that you could hear the music, you just couldn't hear. Yeah, I gotta drink my coffee. All right, but yeah, Bitcoin, guys, look at Bitcoin. Here's Bitcoin futures on the right side right here. Bitcoin at 42,000. The news regarding Bitcoin today. $200 million a week in shorts. So crypto's short squeezing right now. Does anybody know what the actual news story is regarding this? All right, so JP Morgan's JPM coin is going to make its debut on interbank transactions. That's one of the news releases here regarding crypto. We're looking up the other ones right now, team, so bear with me. All right, so let me see if I can find like actual Bitcoin news. Hold on. All right, up over 13% over the past month for crypto. All right, so I'm looking up the news, trying to figure out ETF and having excitement, and it's just time. Yeah, moving with gold. Yeah, I heard gold was flying up, which is great. Yeah, gold hit 2150s Sunday morning. Didn't actually hold those though, but still. All right, let me get some music playing here. Again, man, I'm still kind of bummed out that last Jerome Powell stream ended like it did, you know. And it was super weird because, like, if I shared music, just let me know. Can y'all hear the music right now? I would share music, and the music would be coming through. But if I tried to share, it just wouldn't come through. Yeah. All right, good. Yeah, Exxon not really moving that much. We gotta look at oil, see how it's reacted to everything too. Oil down a little bit on Saturday. All right, good. Tesla, where's Tesla at? I mean, Tesla's at 238. It's been pretty sideways since the event. You know, it hit 250s back on the 29th, but like it's been pretty sideways since then. It's back up to almost 240s. It's still doing all right. Tesla's a big percentage mover, is what you have to understand. So like Tesla moves like a very large percentage, you know. But we did have Powell speak. We're now in the blackout period for Powell. We're now in the blackout period for Powell, so he's not going to be able to say anything economic-wise. Going to Disney? Where's Disney at? I'm not in Disney anymore. Again, I've been out of it since low 90s. You know, I just don't like. I like Disney as a company, but like, I'm just not really in it right now. I'll probably buy it back eventually. I'll get the itch, but. Yeah, you see Bitcoin though, Nvidia on the left side of Nvidia at 460s. Here's a SPY today. SPY is slightly down, I believe. Yeah, so SPY down a little bit, down to 457. Still up a lot though. I mean, Friday it ripped. You know what I mean? So we're just kind of pulling back a little bit after that Friday rip. I just actually bought a little bit more Disney, maybe now will be my good buy. Yeah, Bitcoin up a lot. Neo has earnings tomorrow. We don't have any earnings today, right? Nothing major here. Tomorrow's a bigger day. Today's kind of slow. Glassnode produced a report on Bitcoin spot ETFs and said that if approved, there would be 70 billion inflow, corresponding to 5% growth. Yeah, but see, here's the question though, right? Like, again, you guys know me. I'm gonna be honest about this. Okay, so here's the question regarding this, right? Like, here's the real question. Okay, is that firstly, if like we know if the spot ETF gets approved, that it's going to make Bitcoin run. I mean, everybody knows that already. I think the risks with reports like this is if it doesn't get approved, Bitcoin is going to crash. And I think that's very, very, very self-evident at this point. It's very, very obvious. If this does not get approved, and I hope it does, Bitcoin is going to crash. You know, so like I think we have to be careful. I think Bitcoin running is a great sign, but I think, you know, I guess my only bias is like when I looked at this, when I heard about Bitcoin breaking 40K, I was hoping that we might have gotten like the spot ETF approval, you know what I mean, or like some signs towards it, and we didn't, you know, and so I think that's a bad sign, and I think that could cause hype to get up there. If it doesn't get approved, you know, it could be bad. I don't know if it's going to crash to zero, but it's certainly going to crash if the spot ETF doesn't get approved, in my opinion. Right? I mean, you guys could probably agree with me on that, regardless of how you feel regarding Bitcoin. All right, guys. So, Mike Perry won bare knuckle. Crash, I prefer correction to 33, 36, but not less. Yeah, it's priced in heavily at this point in time, right? So the risks of that price in is that if it doesn't happen, it's going to go to zero. That's worrisome. I guess it's, for lack of a better word, that's worrisome. You know. Yeah, apparently some of the drones were hit overseas. Let me look this up. Yeah, so commercial ships are hit in Houthi attack in the Red Sea. U.S. warship downs 3 drones. Has to do with it's going to zero. Quit saying that. No, it's not going to zero. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to go to zero. I mean, again, that's just over bearish. I think balance is usually the right move. You know, you get people telling everybody one thing or the other, and they're super polarized. I don't think that's the right move. I think especially with stuff like crypto, people are always going to market price is only what somebody's willing to pay for it. And I think you're going to have people willing to pay for Bitcoin, like, consistently. So I don't think it's ever going to go to zero. But if this Bitcoin ETF doesn't get approved, it's certainly going to drop. But I think that's very obvious. Nothing go phone. Hey, congrats, Robbie, CEO of Bitcoin, to announce buybacks. Video won't go to 0 unless some celestial event. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. All right, guys. But yeah, SPY down a little bit today. The real question on the markets today is Bitcoin, gold, and jobs report upcoming this week, right? We got a busy week this week. We got a lot of stuff going on. Today's actually the slowest day. But today we got factory orders coming out at 10. Not really a big report, in all honesty. I'd love to hype it up and make it seem like incredibly big or important, but it's not. What we do have, though, is we have some ECB members speaking, which is the European Central Bank. And then tomorrow we got all the other stuff. Tomorrow we got services, PMI data at 10. So what's called services and non-manufacturing, it's really services PMI. So we got services PMI at 10. We got the JOLTS job report at 10. That's the big boy one tomorrow. So JOLTS job report at 10 tomorrow. As well as services PMI data coming out Wednesday. What is the day of the week where we have a bunch of stuff going on? So again, tomorrow morning we've got NEO earnings early. So early tomorrow we've got NEO earnings. MongoDB tomorrow evening, as well as some other ones. And then Wednesday. So Wednesday evening we got GameStop and AI earnings. Those are big. We'll cover those for sure. So GameStop and AI earnings on Wednesday. And then economics-wise, on Wednesday, we have the ADP non-farm employment change. So we got prelim non-farm data coming out on Wednesday as well. We got non-farm productivity. Thursday, we have jobless claims, building permit data. I thought we had something else too. Okay, so yeah, Thursday we just got jobless claims and building permits, I guess. And then Friday is the biggest day of the week where we got non-farm payrolls and unemployment, the jobs report, as well as Michigan inflation expectations coming out on Friday. So yeah, tomorrow morning we got NEO earnings, JOLTS job report. Again, Tuesday evening, we got MongoDB earnings is the only big one. Wednesday evening, we've got GameStop and AI earnings, Chewy earnings. Thursday, we got nothing. Dollar General, Broadcom, Lululemon, DocuSign earnings in the evening. Not big enough to stream, though. Friday, that's about it. So, yeah, so aside from economic reports, it's a pretty busy week still. We got JOLTS job report tomorrow, ADP non-farm employment change, and then GameStop and C3 AI Wednesday, jobless claims Thursday, unemployment and non-farm payrolls Friday. What are your thoughts on Nvidia? I think Nvidia's pulled back a little bit, but it's still well over 450, and I think 450 is kind of the neutral level for me. I think if we dip under 450, we're looking a little bit weaker short term. If we hold over 450, we're looking a little bit stronger short term. So I think 450 is kind of the neutral level for me in that regard, and so I think we're over that now, which is great. I think relative to what the market did, though, Friday was a little underwhelming. Jobs will be great as seasonal job openings will make them stronger. We rally. Nasdaq trying to pull out of the downtrend. Your thoughts on Microsoft? I'm in Microsoft. It's been pulling back a little bit, but that's all right. My average price is 312 on Microsoft, so like we're still pretty good. Yeah, we'll see what today gives us in terms of pre-market economic trading. All right, guys, we got Bitcoin up there. Sorry, I'm pulling this up. Watching some stuff here too. You guys put the Q up here. Here's the Q. Again, Q bouncing, but it's pretty down overall today. So like the question is, what does the market look like moving forward today? I really don't know. You guys trade oil? No, not really. My weekend was okay. Garcia. Got some rest on Saturday, Sunday. Did some stuff with family, so it was alright. Did we do a poll today? I don't think we did. No, we did. Let's do one. Will the market be bullish this week? Yes or no? Vote on that poll. Let me know how you feel. Will the market be bullish this week, guys? That's the poll right now. Will the market be bullish? For a small pullback and crazy jump in the middle of the week. Yeah, we'll see. So it all today is toilet day. What makes you think that? Toilet day. Alright, so Q and the SPY are both hitting some levels here. Let's see if they hold throughout these levels. So the SPY is too high to maintain the week? Maybe. Music up a little bit too much. Appreciate it, Pawn. Lower that a little bit. Let me know if that's a little bit better. We're gonna have Discord up. There we go. So we did a poll Friday. 66% were bullish, 34% were bearish. We're also going to start opening up Chart Prime alerts. I want alerts on the Market Oracle Pro on the Nasdaq here. Yeah. I want to just create an alert for any alert. I also want it to play a sound. Let's hear it. That's too annoying. It's pretty mild. Yeah, we'll take that one. Wait, what is this? Alright, boom. We're gonna set one on the SPY as well. Same thing. Play the alarm clock sound. Alright. Let me see how well this works on oil. CL, crude oil. I wonder if gold would be profitable to trade today because of the volatility that we've gotten. Set an alert here as well on oil. Same thing. There we go. Alright, SPY starting to head back up. The Q ripping. What other, I guess I could set it on the Dow too. YM. See, I've never actually tested this stuff on the Dow or stuff like that, but I'm going to set it on every index fund futures contract that we can trade. See, that's short term. I also want to set like a long term one too. So let's check a 5-minute one, see what those look like. The regular E-mini 5-minute one. Market Oracle Pro. Yeah, that looks pretty solid. All right, so 5-minute E-mini, 5-minute Nasdaq. All right, and let's pull up some charts. Alright, sorry guys, bear with me. Any news for gold? Gold's mostly pushing up over the conflict overseas. I'm bearish for the week after FOMC. Maybe. But yeah, gold's mostly pushing up over after the conflict overseas. Is what it will like. What's really going down. EYPT crazy huge short squeeze here. Yeah, I heard about that one. Yeah, it's up to 3180s right now. Look at EYPT. It's up to over 32s. Yeah, EYPT, iPoint Pharmaceuticals. It says top-line data from phase 2 trial and wet age-related macular degeneration achieved all primary and secondary endpoints. So basically they announced positive top-line data, and then it started squeezing parabolically to the upside for EYPT. You can see it on the upside. It went from 660s all the way to $30 a share. Pretty big move. Definitely not my wheelhouse of what I normally take, but like, hey, looks pretty solid. Where short squeezes is coming before GameStop. I mean, these aren't really common. This is mostly like we've had penny stocks that squeeze like this for the last decade. Even compared to this, GameStop was different. All right, GameStop went from $4 to $550. All right, so like this thing went from 6 to 30, which is great. It's, you know, it's 500% or whatever that is, and that's great. But GameStop was just a different thing. It was just a different thing. GameStop went from $4 to $550. GameStop went up, you know, 1,000%. Yeah, ATHE is up big too. Alterity Therapeutics, never heard of it. So just be careful, guys. HKD 1000. Yeah, HKD was a little bit different though. HKD was like some type of weird nuance between like share price and some type of like, if I remember correctly, it was like some type of premium or something like that. I can't remember what HKD was, but HKD was definitely different than normal, I would say. Yeah, so again, this week is a pretty busy week. Next week is a very busy week. So like this week, you know, I'm really happy I've designed my channel in a way in which every week we get busyness. Like every week we got something going on, so it's really fun, man. You know, feels good to always have something to cover and you know, a reason for people to tune in. So hey, hit that like button if you haven't already, team. We appreciate the love. Thanks so much. We got 270 people right here. So, hey, we appreciate the love. Thanks so much. John is too rich for us? In what way? Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin over 40K, almost to 42,000 this morning. Looks great, honestly. Looks great. Huge moves to the upside for sure. I don't really get into the sneaker culture very much. Like I'm in my early to mid 30s. Like I don't really wear too many sneakers anymore. You know what I mean? Like I used to love Air Maxes, were like my favorite shoes, like Air Maxes. But I've gotten old, and so I just think I think I'm too old to wear sneakers like that anymore, especially like J's or something. But I've been watching Rami the Icon's YouTube videos. They're still pretty high. They're pretty entertaining. I like DC shoes though. DC shoes are different though, Caesar. Okay, DC shoes never go out of style. I love DC shoes. All right, like I grew up in DC shoe era. Like when DC shoes were first becoming like really big, like early 2000s, I would say, right in the cusp of Robin Big and Fantasy Factory and all that stuff. Like I used to love DC shoes. So like I'm not judging you for wearing DC shoes. What I'm saying is that for me personally, you know, heading towards 40, I'm not gonna be wearing J's around or spending $500 on some Jordans. Like it's just not my style, if you will. Like I'm not judging anybody that does it. Like it's all good. I get it. Like do what you want to do, wear what you want. You know, not my place to judge, but just for me personally. But the business aspect of sneakers seems to be interesting. The only problem though is like I don't love sneakers, you know? And so in order to make money with something, you kind of have to love it, I would say. Like you have to be passionate about it, which I'm not. Like I'm not passionate about sneakers, you know? And so it'd be hard for me to really build a business out of it. But there looks like there's a lot of money floating around out there for sure. DC shoes are just cool shoes, dude. I used to love it. I always had Air Maxes though. Like to show you my favorite shoe. Like the 90s Air Maxes is what I always wore. So like these right here. I had a pair of these. Still got a pair of these. You know. The Air Max 90s. Those are like my favorite shoe. I had some green ones. I wonder how much my green ones would be worth nowadays. So we're kind of scalping the Nasdaq right now as we speak too. We're kind of covering a little bit of this position. We've been in this all morning. So you see we're up 150 on the rest 120. I've already taken a lot off of this already. So I've already taken some size off here. And I'm going to take a little bit more off. Again, you can kind of see on this today we are up 140 or so plus 100. So we're up about 240 right now. Again, riding this up, trying to be patient. Yeah, I can't find the old ones I used to have that were like my favorite ones. But see, my problem with sneakers is this. Like, I'll be real, okay? My problem with sneakers is this. I'm the type, like, I skateboarded as a kid. Like, I skateboarded as a young person too. And so I was never the type of person that could keep my shoes clean and like unscathed. Like if I bought a pair of shoes, they were usually pretty dirty within like a week. And so I was never the type of person that could keep my shoes clean like that. Yeah, for sure, Garcia. And so I could only imagine if I bought like a $500 pair of shoes, bro, those things would be dirty quick. All right, guys, we're here. Again, we're in this. We're up about $100 in the rest of this Nasdaq here. We're watching the SPY test the 200 EMA. We'll see what it does. I could add some more to this. Again, my job is to build up the cushion first and then swing with the cushion. We build. Right, exactly, pawn. Like, my shoes are getting messed up, dude. Like, and so because of that, it always influenced, like, my interest in shoes because I just could never keep them clean, you know? Like, my shoes, I'm not about to keep my shoes clean. I'm going to try to, but yeah. Bro, I got kicked right in the nose in jiu-jitsu yesterday. Or Friday. Friday, I got kicked right in the nose. Like, I was actually managing, like, watching Carol manage my stream. I still don't know what happened Friday with the stream. But bro, I'm getting kind of good at jiu-jitsu, man. Yeah. I think I'm getting kind of good. I'm still a terrible white belt. But, like, I'm getting better, I should say. Not good. I'm getting better. Alright, should I add to this Nasdaq trade? Again, we're up 60 still. The question is, does the SPY break over the 200 EMA? If we think the SPY is going to break the 200 EMA, maybe we can take a piece of this. But if not, we might just want to sit tight. Yeah, we got a cushion now, though. We got some room here, too. Oh, I definitely have losing days. I think I lost Friday. Some days are just not good. Like, what you'll see a lot of the time is you'll see me have a losing day on one account and then switch to another account. I do that pretty regularly, too. But I'm pretty open about it. Like, again, I've got a bunch of different topstep combine accounts. I certainly in red and in equities as well, for sure. Like, today, I think I'm red in equities. Oh, no, I'm actually slightly green in equities. I'll take it. My ARM trade actually doing okay. So, ARM, ARM. It's a microchip IPO stock that just came out a couple months ago. I've been holding this one since IPO day. We're actually finally green on it. You know, so we'll take that too. But yeah, we definitely in red sometimes, you know. Yeah, no, jiu-jitsu's fun, man. Again, I keep going back and forth between which style of jiu-jitsu I like more. You know, like originally I liked no-gi more, right? Because I'm kind of like fast and agile is kind of my style in jiu-jitsu. Like I'm quick. I don't have very good pressure, so like my pressure in jiu-jitsu is not. I mean, my pressure's okay. Like I have pressure, but it's not. Like I can't hold people in different positions for very long, you know, and so I just kind of I understand like I'm unable to hold people in different positions for very long, and so what I do to counter that is I stay really fluid and I transition a lot, you know. So like an example is I put somebody in side control. If I stay there, they're gonna escape or do some type of sweep. And so I put the knee on belly, I get into mount, I move to the other side in side control, I move to north-south if they start to shrimp, you know. Usually at that point I go for like an arm bar or something, but yeah. Point is, I like no-gi more because of that. Because with a gi you can kind of hold somebody still a little bit longer. But then after that, I started liking gi more because I started learning gi, and then I started liking no gi more. And so I don't know which one I like more now. What does break over the 200 EMA actually mean? I get it, it'll pass the 200 EMA, but why does it matter? Please make more videos. Yeah, I mean, okay, so you have to think about it, and look, we are moving back up. So again, me holding this position, it looks pretty solid here. I think I'm just gonna keep holding it. But yeah, the 200 EMA is incredibly relevant, right? So Robert is asking why the 200 EMA matters, right? And because you have to think about it with technicals, your job in technical trading is to figure out what everybody else is looking at, right? There's a couple milestone indicators and levels that everybody's basically looking at. One of them is the 200 EMA. A lot of people pay attention to the 200 EMA. A lot of people use the 200 EMA in their trading. A lot of people base their trades around the 200 EMA. And so because of all of that, we watch the 200 EMA, and vice versa. A lot of people watch, a lot of people watch the volume weighted average price. And so we watch the volume weighted average price. And you can kind of see this on the SPY chart right here. Like, you can kind of see it creeping up a little bit. But yeah, we're just trying to figure out what everybody else sees and piggyback off of their trades. I did 1 year of it, white belt with 2 stripes. Nice, man. Yeah, I've got 1 stripe right now, so I'm still pretty new. I've been doing it for like 3 months, though. But I think I'm progressing pretty quickly. Like, when I roll against other people in my gym, like, if they're another white belt like me, most of the time I'm giving them trouble, you know. There's a couple white belts that kind of have my number, I would say. But most of the white belts that I roll against at my gym, you know, I'm able to tap them out pretty quick. There's some purple belts and blue belts that I'm competitive with, but they still usually beat me up. But I'm doing okay. Like I said, I'm not trying to brag. I think I'm still a brand new white belt who knows nothing, but I'm getting better. Was used by institutions to gauge if a stock was up or down in the last year. Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of people watch all these different moving averages. They watch like the 9, and I say this 1,000 times. I've said this exact thing over and over again. But they watch all these different moving averages. I like just the 200 EMA. It's a long-term moving average. It's not a short-term one. The short-term ones, you have to question the validity of them to see if they actually work, because they're so short-term, and there's the 8 and the 32 and the 28 and the 24 and like all these different ones. That just clouds it up. I just want one that I know people are watching, and I think the 200 EMA, I know people are watching that one. So that, because of that, like, that's why I watch it. I don't really read RSI levels like that. Yeah, I don't really read RSI levels like that. I'm not a big RSI user. I think maybe some of the other indicators I use have them, but yeah, I don't really use them like that. All right, team. Yeah, I'm looking at this other thing here. Let me see what else we got. All right, so now we're down a little bit here. I don't know what I want to do with this. Again, I'm already up 140 bucks on this trade. I'm trying to take a longer term range trade in pre-market. I feel like my problem in pre-market is I try to scalp too much. And, you know what I mean? Just end up, I try to scalp too much and I just end up paying commission, breaking even, or losing early in pre-market and having to make it back afterwards. So, like, yeah. Is there any reason the polls aren't showing up on my app? The box and the answers are there, but no question. Yeah, I'm not sure, Larry. Sounds like just a front-end issue. I see 200 EMA values on 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. Which do you use? I use everything. They might be slightly different on everyone, or majorly different on everyone. It just depends. All right, so yeah, and again, you can kind of see why. Like, we're gonna go ahead and cut this and get out slightly green on the trade. We're still up, but less green now. And again, you can kind of see why we watch the 200 EMA. You know, and again, look at the chart. If you want to know why I watch it, you got to look at just chart history to understand it. Okay, so like when we look at this, it's very simple. Every time we pull back to this 200 EMA level, to a certain extent, we reject there on the SPY, right? That's one of the reasons we pay attention to it, because it simply works. Now, it's not going to work every time. We can't guarantee anything. When you join a sport on average, what would you say your rank is compared to the team? What do you mean? Nando's, I'm confused about the question, bro. Jiu-jitsu is not a team sport necessarily. I mean, it can be, but it's mostly just you versus other people. So, like, it's a very, yeah, it's just me versus everybody else. And again, I'm not even claiming to be good, man. Like, again, there's some people there that just destroy me every time we roll. Like, you know, I don't want to be that white belt that thinks he's better than everybody, because I'm not. That's for sure. Definitely not. But I think I'm pretty good, and I'm getting better, is what I say. I think I've improved is a better way. Instead of saying I'm good, I think I'll say I've improved a lot is a better way to say it. It's just kind of addicting, to be honest. That's why you hear me talk about it a lot, because it's just addicting. In what way, Pawn? Mayor calls for you today. Yeah, if you think Bitcoin's gonna go up a lot, maybe. Why bull market? I'm not saying there is a bull market. I'm asking people, is a bull market coming? You know, we got the rate hike coming out next week. We've got the jobs report this week. You know, again, I'm not saying we're gonna have a bull market. Like, I'm not. Okay, so I guess my alerts aren't working, unfortunately. You know, I guess my alerts aren't gonna be working. That sucks. Because I didn't get the alert just now when we should have. What's up, G-Force? Expecting a pullback soon after all shorts are broke. Tesla. Yeah, if we look at Tesla here. Yeah, Tesla at 238 right now is pretty neutral. I gotta figure out a way to get this alert working. Let me see. Market Oracle. Makes me sad to see companies like Space, Hood, GameStop just slow tech over time. I love to see fundamental reality. Yeah, I mean, guys, this is the crazy part, like, about some of these. Like, who's been watching my stream long enough, right? Like, how many of you guys have been here for years? Because, again, if you guys have been here for years, you probably heard me talk about Space and why I didn't like it. And the argument about Space and why I didn't like it was very, very simple, guys. Like, I think a lot of people are susceptible to hype, is what it is. Like, I think a lot of people are really susceptible to hype and all that stuff, but like I'm not as easily like fooled by hype. I think if I have a skill set in trading and investing, I'm not as susceptible to hype and manipulation. And so it's something that you'll hear me talk about a lot. And one of the calls that I've made that I'm really proud of, and so I guess I am bragging a little bit, but is that I was talking about Space. So SPCE. You know, the argument I gave against it years ago, this was years, I've been saying this for years, the argument I gave against it was that the space industry was incredibly expensive, and that it might have been hyped up currently, which this was years ago, but the likelihood of them pivoting and actually monetizing this service is so freaking low that this thing's not going to succeed long term, in my opinion. There's too much competition, number one, as well as it's going to be so hard to freaking monetize a space company like this. I just don't like it, right? And again, I said this when this was back up at the 50s, 60s, 30s, 40s. And I said it a bunch of times as well. And so again, you have to understand, like, there needs to be a thought experiment you do with every investment you make. Right? Like, there needs to be a thought experiment that you do with every investment that you make. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, like, you have to look at the business model, take hype out of the picture. Like, take whatever hype the company has. Like, Space had so much hype. Everybody acting like it was just going to be, like, what did people think was going to happen with Space, right? Like, what did people actually think was going to happen here? Because ultimately, what I see for Space is, incredibly risky business. You know, the space industry, incredibly expensive, bad margins, competition. Just, I don't know what people thought was going to happen with Space. I really don't. Because again, this is a company that, like, what are they doing? They're trying to monetize space flights. Like, you know how expensive that would be? You know, like, it's not like they're gonna have a huge customer base with that either. You know, so like, I just never understood this business. And I think there's companies like this. Like, if I'm not advocating for shorting companies, right? Like, I'm not a big shorter. Like, to be honest, I mostly just don't buy them. When I have thoughts like that, I mostly don't buy them. Same thing with like Peloton. I was very similar to like this to Peloton, and I told you guys the argument against Peloton when Peloton was at the freaking, you know, $170 level. The argument against it was simple. Nobody wants a freaking virtual reality bicycle like that. Nobody wants a virtual reality rowing machine. Like, they're solving problems that aren't there. And so while it might be gimmicky for a while, like Bowflex or whatever, I just didn't think it would hold those big valuations, and it didn't. So you have to be skeptical of companies, I think, especially mid-cap companies that are small. You know, if you could be skeptical of mid-cap companies, you could probably find some good ones to short. Again, I'm not a big short person. Like, I don't like shorting stuff, but I think there's opportunity there for sure. Just based off of the companies that I have been skeptical of and what they've done moving forward. And another example is BYND, Beyond Meat. You know, this company had tons of hype. They were basically growing lab-grown meat. I can't remember what they were doing. They were growing some type of like vegan lab-grown meat. But again, my argument against this one, and again, I've been saying this for freaking years, was that vegans are incredibly health conscious. they don't necessarily want to eat lab-grown meat. They don't know the long-term effects of that. They're usually going to keep it pretty simple and safe and not... Here, we're using Chart Prime to make some money on this one on the downside short. Locked in some more. We're currently up 200 or so. Up 3 after this. We'll go ahead and get out there. All right, so yeah, we're up to 270 right now from that last trade. But yeah, point is, vegans are incredibly health conscious. Like companies like this have been doing deals with like fast food chains, but vegans don't go to fast food chains. I just didn't see them having the customer base, as well as like when you take into account how expensive BYND is. It's just super unlikely they're going to succeed either. And I think you can find companies like this. I'm not saying you should short them, but these are the worst companies to buy. Because again, like when you think about the argument long term, it's very hard to talk me into buying something like this. Yeah, that's what they were trying to do, KFC. But again, the business model of that seems terrible. Yeah, I got my free reset. Yeah, it just seems like, again, people get hyped up about nonsense too much, man. And again, I'm just not one of those guys that, like, I'm skeptical of everything I buy, you know? Like, I need a proven business model first. Again, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I'll say it once and I'll say it again, guys. You have to be careful buying mid-cap stocks. You simply have to be careful buying mid-cap stocks. Mid-cap stocks are the worst thing you could ever buy. A lot of the time, they're very difficult to make money on. Some of them are high risk, high reward. But like the issue really is simple. The issue is that a lot of them are not proven, mid-caps. And so they're not large enough companies, they're not proven, and they're overly hyped. And so they have the potential to drop 50% in a year or more. And that's a big risk to your portfolio if you put big money in them. Sure, some of them could run, but the amount of mid caps I see that turn successful versus not are very low in my opinion. Like, even if BYMD's gapping up a little bit, I still think it's sketchy. All right, so we got out again. This is our graph today. So we got a cushion. That's the first step of the day. Palantir, yeah, Palantir's getting AI hype. There's some stocks like this that could do well, right? But I think you have to be smart and calculated with them and understand, like, if you're going to invest in companies that are small, trade them like they're small. Meaning, you should be buying such a small amount of shares for them that if they drop 50% in the year, you're not going to be massively affected by it. But if they go up and they do what you want them to do, then you're still going to be able to make some money from it. Like, that's the argument, is that you need to limit risk with companies like that. It's big risk, big reward. So you might be right, but you also might be wrong, and you got to understand that going into it. Yeah, I mean, Palantir's got some AI hype and some AI, use and utility. So And again, if you want to check out Topstep with me, Topstep is a funded program in futures. They give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can pass the test, they fund you. If you don't pass the test, you're probably going to lose more than you would putting up the money up yourself. Again, that's why I use Topstep, is because simply it's cheaper to learn how to trade on Topstep than it is putting up the money up yourself. Most day traders lose money. Once you get that in your head, once you understand that truth, which is that most day traders lose. Now, you could either put thousands of dollars up yourself and risk thousands of dollars yourself, which is usually kind of a bad move in the beginning. Again, speaking of Topstep, we are now up in another long trade. Short term, we're going to go ahead and scalp out of this. Again, now we're at about 350 or so in profit. But anyways, once you get into your head that most day traders lose, it becomes really obvious why traders should be using a funded account program when they're learning how to day trade. When what you see me day trading here is the Nasdaq. It's the Nasdaq, basically the Q. It's the same price action. If you look at this and I zoom out here, and then you look at this right side, it's the same exact thing. Big upward move, consolidation, drop. Big upward move, consolidation, drop. Same price action. Bounce, dip, bounce, bounce, dip, bounce. Same price action here. But I can trade this one, no PDT rule. I can day trade as much as I want, basically. I can buy market, sell market, buy bid, sell the ask, just like stocks, and try to get funded. Or, I am funded in a couple different accounts. And there's no PDT rule on the future side. So you can essentially get exposure to day trading. I can do the same thing with the SPY and the E-mini. Gold patterns are very similar to large blue chip companies, but in futures, there's no PDT rule. In Topstep, they give you a demo, test your skill. If you can pass the test, they fund you. If you can't pass the test, then you're probably going to lose less than you would putting up the money up yourself. Again, they pay out millions in actual withdrawals every year, fund thousands a year, been around for over a decade, have free funding coaches, just really useful for traders learning how to day trade. And if you want to check them out, here's the link. Great way to help support the channel. There's a bunch of different platforms you can use. There's a bunch of different platforms you can use on Topstep. I know you can. I use Quant Tower, but I think some of them have mobile apps and stuff like that. All right, so we did break 100 likes. Thanks so much, team. Appreciate it. All markets should buy Bitcoin. Can't wait to use Bitcoin on Disney, Tesla, Nvidia. Maybe. We'll see. Again, here's Tesla. We'll see if Tesla does anything. Again, the Cybertruck look really nice, man. Again, the more I see the Cybertruck, I don't know why people hate on it like that. I really don't. Like, the Cybertruck looks dope, man. I genuinely, it's starting to grow on me a lot more. Yeah. On some of the platforms, Duppy, it just depends on the platforms you're using, brother. All right, so again, we're in another trade here. I'm gonna go ahead and take half of this off. We just locked in another $100. I'm gonna let this ride again. Again, we're mostly using Chart Prime though. If you want to see why I'm taking a lot of these trades this morning, you can kind of see the last few trades I've taken are all based around Chart Prime. I can't guarantee you're gonna make money. Nobody can. This right side is a 1 minute time frame, a 1 minute time frame. We're just gonna go ahead and cut the rest of that off, and so now we are up 470, almost 5 on the day, 3.3 to 1 win-loss ratio. And again, if you want to see why I'm getting in some of these, strong buy signal just came in on the Nasdaq. 5 minute buy signal was here. We had the sell signal that I got in last time, which you can see there. And then I'm using it on both 1 and 5 minute charts. But again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. This is just one aspect of Chart Prime. It's called the Market Oracle Pro. I'm using it a lot in my futures trading. It makes a lot of sense. And again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. Again, if you want to check out Chart Prime, link is in the description. Again, the only reason I'm plugging this is because a lot of people tried to claim that I never use them. But it's like, dude, most of the time they're just trying to hate on the channel any way they can. But like, just to show you guys, I do actually use them. AI companies need Palantir to find their way through it. Well, I mean, I'm not saying Palantir doesn't have a use case, but I don't think anything needs anything. There's always options. I'm definitely trying to get a Cybertruck in Alaska. Just showed it to my wife. Hey, nice, no code. Can't wait to get it. Hey, good luck. Let me know how it is if you guys do get it. It's always jealousy. That's why people hate on things. That's not always. I mean, you could just genuinely dislike something, you know, and that's fine. The difference, though, like, I genuinely dislike a lot of stuff, right? Like, I genuinely dislike a lot of things. The difference is that, like, I don't, like, the easiest way to put it is I don't troll. I don't obsess over them in that way on the internet. You know what I mean? If I don't like another YouTube channel, I just don't watch them. You know? And so the people that are spending their life, like, obsessing over my channel and trying to hate on it, and we got a couple. Like, there's a couple people. Like, you know, we got a couple because one of the funny things is, like, when we had our issues on Friday, like, we had some issues with sound. Like, right, we were trying to stream the Powell speech and the sound wasn't coming through. Somebody literally created another username simply to tell people to go to another stream. Like, simply to try to tell people to leave my stream. And so if it's like, if your obsession with me is at that level, you know, again, those are the ones that are, like, truly jealous and truly weird. You know what I mean? And, like, unfortunately, I don't know who would, I've told my wife about it. Like, it's very weird to have, like, people that are obsessed in that way. Like, it's very strange. I don't know who would be motivated to, like, be that obsessed with my downfall. But people are weird, man. And jealousy really is a thing. And that's what most of it is jealousy, insecurity. And people are freaking crazy, bro. 100%. Yo, I know there's a lot of people, like, back home that I've gotten some weird messages with. Like, I'm from Louisiana originally, right? And I've had some friends and just people in general that wanted to do not like, it wasn't, they've wanted to build their own social media brands, and they've been doing it for 20 years now, and they just haven't really been able to, like, succeed doing it. And so I think some of them, if they look at me over here doing my thing on the internet, that might make them feel some type of way about it. Or I've got a lot of other friends that just told everybody they'd be some wildly successful person, and now they're, like, you know, working fast food or whatever it is. And so people are weird, man, and jealousy is a real thing. And they might argue that it's not jealousy, but for a lot of it, it is. Of course, not all of it, though. Is that really what it means, G-Force? Any data to be released today globally? Not really. Yeah, there's not really any big economic reports today. The rest of this week, we got a lot of stuff. Like, we've got the JOLTS report tomorrow. We've got C3 and GameStop earnings Wednesday. We've got Wednesday, we got non-farm employment change data. We also have Thursday jobless claims, and then Friday we have non-farm payrolls and unemployment. The biggest day this week is Friday for sure. Yeah, I didn't know that. To look in a hostile manner, or to look in a hostile manner is what Nvidia means. Spite and resentment at seeing the success of another. That is what Nvidia means. Interesting. I never knew that, G-Force. Hey, thanks for the yeah, appreciate it. But yeah, I've got some friends, man. I'll tell you, I've got some suspects. Some of the haters. There's a couple people that I know are doing it, and there's a couple people that I'm suspicious of. Some of them have tried to work with me in the past, and then I've kind of, like, ghosted them because I don't trust them, and, you know, they get weird that way. Other ones are, I've got this one dude who I'm pretty sure he's the type that would act this way, in which, again, he's tried to create his own, like, stuff at home, like social media pages, and he's kind of failed at it, you know. And he'll send me messages just out of the blue, like randomly out the blue, like, hey man, hope you're doing good. And it's like, dude, I haven't talked to this dude in 20 years. You know? Like, I haven't talked to this guy in 20 years, bro. Like, what are you sending me messages for, dude? Like, you're acting like we're best friends, you know? And I feel like he's sending me messages hoping that I'm gonna be like, hey bro, let me promote your brand, you know? But it's like, dude, I don't trust you. I'm not promoting your brand, you know? And so when I don't do that, I think that's where some of the weirdness comes from too. Yeah, some of them made it obvious in the past. Bitcoin touching 42K. Yeah, Bitcoin, again though, I think this makes Bitcoin more vulnerable if the spot ETF doesn't get approved. If the spot ETF does get approved though, what do you think? What do you guys think Bitcoin's gonna hit? Yeah, I think anonymity on the internet makes people think that it's harder to figure out who it is than it actually is, right? Like, you can tell people's intentions very obviously, you know? Like, again, I've said it before. I've had people that have tried to, like, for lack of a better word, personality mirror me. They try to mirror my personality and then get in tight with me so that I'll let them be co-host of the channel and, like, all this other stuff. Like, just weird. You know, people are freaking strange. 100K easy? I don't know about 100K. I think like 65K. 70K is somewhere in which Bitcoin could potentially hit if the spot ETF gets approved. If the ETF does not get approved, I think it could dip to 15, 10. But if it does get approved, I think it could hit, like, again, 65, 70 is my guess. If it can hold this 42, 43 level, and it's pushing up now, it's over 40,000. So if it can hold these levels, maybe, you know, 70K within a week. I don't think it'll be that easy. I think it might be something in which, like, the ETF gets approved and it runs for like a day. I don't know if it's going to keep going up though. I think it might be a little bit more volatile than that because they're not going to make it too easy to make money, but still. My biggest pet peeve is when someone tries to mirror my personality. Yeah, me too. Like, people treat me like I'm stupid is my biggest pet peeve, right? And that's one of the ways in which they do. I don't like to be manipulated. That's one of my pet peeves, is I don't like people manipulating me. And so I usually, like, even with, like, girls, like, you see some females in the chat. But, like, I don't trust, like, I'm not saying I don't trust girls. I'm saying, like, I don't trust that they are girls. To a certain extent, I feel like they're the same type of people making fake accounts to look like pretty girls so that they can try to get an edge in me being nice or acknowledging their stuff. People are just weird, man. The internet makes you not trust people. When will we know if it gets approved? I'm not sure. So we'll know for sure. I mean, you'll see Bitcoin rip. They'll come out and say it. The companies that got approved are going to come out and certainly post about it and let people know. The big one to watch, Grayscale. You know, those are the big ones to pay attention to. Yeah, for sure, G-Force. I'd be buying a lot of dips. A lot if it dips to 10K. I believe that could happen, though. I think it just depends on whether the spot ETF is going to be able to get approved or not. You know, if the spot ETF is approved, yeah, it's going to pop. Again, I think it'll run to 70,000+. If it doesn't get approved, I think it's going to fall. Yeah, for sure. 100% EH. Yeah, I worry they're just some dude. I watch too much Catfish to believe, you know, a lot of them. Alright, so there's Tesla falling down a little bit. Tesla at 237s. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give up all my sources, Mo. I've got a bunch of different sources that I look at, though. So, yeah, I use a bunch of different sources. What do you think about the Q? I trade the Q regularly. Q is the Nasdaq, if you don't understand. Like, so the Q is the Nasdaq. So, yeah, the Q is the Nasdaq. If you didn't know, the QQQ is just the Nasdaq 100. ETF. feel like tech still wants to sell off. Maybe. I mean, it's up a lot. Maybe it does. I'm not sure. All right, so we are starting to get a pullback. The question is, how is Tesla going to influence the Q here? Here's the Q. It's down to 388s. So rejected at the 200 EMA VWAP level here. So it did reject there. Let's see if it continues to reject. So we are in another short here. This one's not based off of chart prime, but we're gonna see if we get a breakdown here. We got an up wick. I like to take a little bit off. We're flat. We're shorting the Nasdaq 100 because we saw mostly Tesla start to flush down. All right, so they were slightly green, flat. There we go, up. Up a little bit. Let's see if we get a little bit more gains here. Here we go. All right, we just took half off. So that'll protect the trade a little bit. Locked in some profit here. Again, we're up on the Nasdaq 100. We're basically shorting the Q right now. All right, so we're up some more. 40, 50, 25. See, I could probably hold this break even now. Again, we're up a little bit under 500 on the day. In the last few business days, Intel was kind of the indicator for the Nasdaq tech stocks going up or down. It might be Nvidia more than Intel, but maybe not. I'm not sure. I don't really watch Intel that much. All right, so we're up 40. There we go, 55. I like this. I like this move, but I need a little bit better fill here, in all honesty. There we go, 90, 115. All right, we're gonna go ahead and lock that one in. So that one was just my own trade. And again, you can kind of see we're up about 6 on the day, about 580. So we'll take that. Again, shorting the Q basically right now in the futures market. Are we pumping before dumping or straight flushing? We might pump up. I don't know what we're doing, really. Tesla's starting to break down. That's what kind of made me want to short a little bit. And again, if you want to try out topstep, try to get funded with me. Topstep funded account program in futures. You can day trade short in futures, no PDT rule. Topstep's the most legit funded program in the world. It's only 49 bucks. They give you a 50K demo. If you can make 3K on that without losing 2K, so a 2 to 3 ratio, reasonable. They fund you 50K with a 90% split. If you can pass their testing, there's no PDT in futures. You can day trade essentially the Q, essentially the SPY, and what's called the E-mini and Nasdaq. Patterns are very similar to large cap stocks. 90% split once you're funded. Just a lot of cool ways to use them. Check it out. There's a link. They are a sponsor of mine, though, of course. I'm biased. I'm biased in their favor because they pay me money, but still useful. No, I haven't tried that pawn. I'm usually kind of more of a scalper, though, you know. Maybe G-Force. You know how I feel about crash predictions, though, brother. I'm skeptical of crash predictions, dude. Good morning, brother. What's up, team? It's real hard to tell when it's going from here. Yeah, I mean, again, it's always difficult to predict crashes. I think the biggest mistake a lot of people make is they over-predict crashes. I think people over-predict crashes. And look at the Nasdaq start to flush. Maybe I should have stayed in that short position. Look at this big dip. Let me see if this is from any economic reports or data. Let me check this out. Hold on, team. Big flush, though. All right, so the U.S. Department of DOE is going to buy back as much oil as we possibly can via Bloomberg. The U.S. is going to take advantage of low oil prices to refill reserves, and reserve refill limited by physical constraints. All right, so we're going to put this up on the screen. This might be influencing the market. Let's see what oil's doing. Is oil popping from this news? Oil is popping a little bit, but this news just dropped. We'll see what this means moving forward. Here, it should be constraints. I think Bloomberg actually spelled this wrong, but that's okay. Or not Bloomberg, Toss chat. But again, look at this dump on the Nasdaq and Tesla. Again, let's look at, again, Tesla's following it for sure. It could be Tesla's dropping. Nvidia's down on the day as well. Let's look at Apple. Apple's flushing a little bit too. So we're starting to pull back a little bit now this morning. Yeah, you can only have 3 funded accounts at any given period on topstep. The sell-off started hard at 6 p.m. last night. Do you know what happened? The sell-off in what, the market itself? Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It happened at like 6 p.m. market time. You're right. But again, you got to look at the, like, okay, if we look at the SPY, okay, you got to zoom out a little bit and check out like a 15-day chart. All right, what you'll see on the SPY is that Friday we actually pushed up a lot, and so we're still above Friday's open. So like this is what we did Friday at the opening bell, and now we're pulling back a little bit, but we're still well above Friday's open over here. So we're still pretty green over the last day or two. We're just kind of giving some of it back right now. And so, you know, a lot of the time people get really they let big moves impact their bias, but again, we're actually pretty flat. Like here's the market over the past 3 days: down, up, down, up. Like we're just kind of flat over the last 3, but this is a pretty big red move for sure on the Nasdaq. Question is, do we continue? A lot of this, again, what I'm seeing right now is from Tesla red, Nvidia red, Apple, Microsoft testing lows down there. So yeah, we'll see what the market does, what the Q does. Gold is at 2079 right now. Gold's kind of quiet. I mean, it ripped up super early yesterday morning, but it's been pretty flat since then. Do you think it might hit the point on the bottom where it always hits? I'm not sure. What do you think about Bed Bath & Beyond squeeze? I think it was overhyped. I think Bed Bath & Beyond was obviously a failing company. You know what I mean? And I think Bed Bath & Beyond was always a failing company. I think if you look at, again, my wife used to love Bed Bath & Beyond. Before it went out of business, my wife would bring me to Bed Bath & Beyond. The problem, though, is that it was always a ghost town. Like, there was never anybody there. It was always empty. Most of the products, like, the real issue is, like, most of the products were available online. Like, so you could buy most of the products that were sold at Bed Bath & Beyond on Amazon. And thus is why Bed Bath & Beyond went out of business, is because you simply didn't need them anymore. Mail order shipping has become so efficient through stuff like Amazon to a point at which you just didn't need companies like Bed Bath & Beyond, right? And what happens is, like, people buy Bed Bath & Beyond, and then Bed Bath & Beyond drops, as it probably should have, because it was a failing, obsolete company. And then all those people that are holding Bed Bath & Beyond say, "Nuh-uh, this is manipulation, guys. This is manipulation." And so, you know, because again, nobody holding a losing, depreciating asset wants to admit that it's justifiably losing and depreciating, right? They always want to say it should have been good. My pick should have been my pick should have been a good pick, but ABC happened, so now it's not, and manipulation, blah. But the reality of it is Bed Bath & Beyond was always going to fail. They're obsolete. You just don't need them anymore. You can buy the same stuff on Amazon now, get it shipped to your doorstep overnight. You don't need to go sit at Bed Bath & Beyond and walk around the store and pay a 20% premium on those products anymore. You just don't. And so, but anytime people get overly short in anything, there's some squeeze opportunity. And so we did have a little bit of a squeeze in Bed Bath & Beyond. I remember I sold it. I think I sold it at it might have been 10s or 15s. I can't remember exactly where. We streamed the Bed Bath & Beyond stuff too. But the biggest mistake people make in short squeezes like that is that they don't get out when they should, right? They always hold on for a little bit more, and that usually destroys any money that they made, right? So they always want to get out for a little bit more. They never want to take profits. And so they end up just sitting on these stocks, hoping that they're going to go up a little bit more until they crash. And then when they crash, they get upset, they cry manipulation, whatever it is. And thus the cycle repeats. Yeah, maybe we're in crypto bull market. I don't know. Depends on what again, I don't think we're there yet, Fox. I think if the Bitcoin spot ETF does not get approved, we're in trouble. You know what I mean? I think if the Bitcoin spot ETF does not get approved, we're going to struggle. I think Bitcoin's going to massively correct if that happens. And so I'm going to wait until the ETF actually gets approved. Because again, until it gets approved, we're in trouble. So the next Fed decision is going to be on the 13th, I believe. It might be the 14th. Let me see. So the next FOMC meeting is on the 13th, right? So it's going to be on the 13th. The meeting's from 12 to 13th, but it's on the 13th. Again, we're almost certainly going to pause or skip. Again, if you look at the odds here, if you look at the odds here, 99.7% of people think we're going to pause or skip. And we actually have 0.3 expectation of a rate cut, which is just not going to happen. But still, it looks interesting. But yeah, 0.3% of people think we're going to maybe cut rates. Again, I don't think that's going to happen, but I think it's interesting to watch nonetheless. What do you think about Coinbase? I think Coinbase is doing pretty healthily. Pretty healthy moves all the way up to 150. Maybe, again, I think a lot of people are front loading onto a potential ETF approval. I think if the ETF gets approved, Coinbase is going to go up more. But same argument with Bitcoin. If it doesn't get approved, you're going to see a massive correction. What do you think about Mullen? Mullen, sketchy penny stock, almost certainly going to fail. Talked a bunch of retail naive investors into buying it like it's the next Tesla, and it's just not. There's not enough people that actually want to buy a Mullen to make it successful. Imagine you had no idea about Mullen stock, all right, and imagine you wanted to buy an EV. Are you going to buy a Mullen? If you answered yes, you're lying. If you answered yes, you're lying. Nobody wants to buy a Mullen. Nobody wants to buy a very obscure EV brand that underperforms relative to a lot of the other EVs out there, with no support, basically, with no back-end customer service or support. That's just a really bad buy. And so this should have been a very obvious company in which wasn't going to be successful. I've been saying this for years as well. This is another one of those stocks where every time I heard it, I told people it was sketchy. Yet somehow retail talks each other into buying crap like this. And then it ends up just getting, this is Mullen is genuinely one of the worst long-term charts I've ever seen. Again, you put up a weekly chart here. How many times has this thing been diluted? 217,000 post-split price? Bro, how many times have this thing's been split or diluted? Because that's one of the worst long-term charts I've ever seen. And again, justifiably so. It's Mullen. Nobody's going to buy this company. Best case scenario, it gets bought out by one of the big boys. I've been saying this on repeat for freaking years. Best case scenario, it gets bought out by one of the big boys. But I think that's even less likely now. We got AMC. AMC still sitting at 680s. GameStop. Again, GameStop, did everybody go to SantaCon and dress up like Roaring Kitty and pump GameStop? Because that was the big thing that everybody kept asking me about. Based on your Mullen view, what do you think about Rivian? I think Rivian is a little bit... I think there's still risks with Rivian, of course. But I think it's better than Mullen. Okay, and I'll tell you why. It's got Amazon backing it is the first obvious thing, is that Rivian's got Amazon backing it, right? And that's a huge thing. Amazon, one of the most successful companies in the world, deep pockets, and deep pockets can heal a lot of wounds in stocks. That's the first thing, is that Rivian's got deep pocket backers, right? Like people backing it that have deep pockets, i.e. Amazon. Number two is that when you drive around, I actually see Rivians. So people are buying Rivians, at least to a certain extent. Rivian is producing cars, and they're cool cars. They're cool cars. Like their trucks are competitive with the current EV landscape. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to succeed, but it's obviously better than Mullen. You know, people know about Rivian. Like people outside the stock market know about Rivian. That gives it obviously more validity, more potential longevity in business. Yeah, Lordstown, I don't know, I've never really. Looks like Mullen had, yeah. Mullen just sketchy, guys. You should have known it was sketchy. All right, I got to go to the restroom, guys. What's going to be the bet today? Alright guys, so here's the rule, okay? If I take over 3 minutes to go to the restroom, you all can call me dummy for the rest of the day. Alright, we're gonna get a timer set up and everything. Alright, you guys ready? Alright, you guys ready? Here's the timer. Alright, you guys ready? If I take over 3 minutes to go to the bathroom, you guys can call me dummy all day. Ready? Alright, I'm gonna mute it, but when I hit play, that's when the timer starts. Alright, guys? When I hit play, the timer starts. All right, we're back. No dummy today, guys. Hey, no dummy today. You're welcome. Sorry, team. Not today. Hey. All right, we're here. All right, guys. Sorry, team. You just didn't make it. All right, you just didn't make it. All right. That's all right. Hey, listen. You can't win everyone here, team. You can't win everyone. All right. I also had to grab my LSU hat. All right, so the Nasdaq's still flushing down pretty heavily here. Look at the Nasdaq, still breaking down. Still looking weak. Still dipping pretty fast here too. Yeah, definitely top 3. All right, guys. So again, there's GameStop. Nasdaq's flushed down. I would short this. I would short this, but overextended fast though. Is there a reason why everything is flushing right now? Not really. I mean, there's some problems overseas today. There's also oil. You know, could be ECB's Lagarde speaking. She's speaking right now. So Lagarde from the ECB, the European Central Bank, is doing talks right now. Again, the U.S. Department of oh, that's the wrong one. Department of Energy, you know, put out this report right here on the bottom that you can kind of see right here. Again, this is our graph so far today. We've built this up mostly using Chart Prime. Again, mostly using Chart Prime. It's a trading view indicator service. Again, you can use it stocks, crypto, forex, futures. If you want to see the other screen, like people are always like, yo, bro, you don't use Chart Prime. Again, if I show you this, this is my screen. Look at how accurate they can be. This is one called the regular. This is called the Market Oracle Pro. Okay, this is called the Market Oracle Pro. Again, backtest this yourself if you don't think it works. Again, I can't guarantee you're gonna make money. I can't guarantee it's gonna work or anything like that. But backtest it yourself. Strong buy. This is a 5-minute one. Buy signal worked. Strong sell signal worked. Buy signal worked. Strong. Look at the strong signal alert right here, and then look at the huge breakdown you get afterwards in the Nasdaq. This is a 5-minute chart. We also have the 1-minute one on the right side here that I'm also using. So I've got alerts set, and I'm using them on both time frames, 1-minute and 5-minute. And so again, here's the 1-minute one on the right side here. And again, if you look at the 1-minute one, like here's the E-mini, same kind of thing here, same kind of thing. Look at this. Again, I can't fake it. It's not always going to be right, of course. Look at the buy signal, sell signal. This one maybe you could say didn't work. This buy signal, sell signal, or strong one definitely worked. The strong ones are even more powerful, but even this is 75% out of these last 4. And so good. I challenge you to backtest it yourself. This is just a small piece of what they offer. Again, there's so much other stuff too. They have chart patterns. I could put up like chart patterns, oscillators, smart money concepts, market oracle, market dynamics, and again, just really powerful charts, Again, you can use it in stocks, crypto, forex, futures, just really useful, guys. Again, they are a sponsor of mine, so I'm biased, of course, but like check them out. Like they're actually pretty solid. It's like $50 a month if you use my link, and so it's pretty cheap. And I use these a ton. Again, I use them off screen, of course. Like I trade them off screen, but you can use these in crypto as well. And so again, I don't know who that is, Fox. But we've been doing pretty good today. We got a nice little cushion so far. We'll see if we can bring that up more at the opening bell. You guys, we're at 15.69 for GameStop. I'm gonna put up some other stuff just so we can watch like regular price action here. Here's the Nasdaq. Here's the Q. Flushing down a little bit though. Again, we ripped up a lot on Friday, so we're kind of just giving back the gains that we made on Friday. buggy choke, dude. I've wanted to hit people with buggy chokes. I've heard a lot. I've been electric chaired in jiu-jitsu. The submission of the electric chair, I think is what it's called. Those are no fun. I've wanted to buggy choke people, but never actually learned that submission. I'll have to drill it one day. Somebody else was telling me about a clock choke, but it's only in gi. Like, what about like in jiu-jitsu? What are the things that works? Again, like I'm pretty quick, so like I transition a lot. I go from like side control to back mount or to full mount or knee on belly, and you know, so forth and so on. But one of the things like the older kind of like bigger dudes in jiu-jitsu will do to stop me is that they will sit in turtle, right? And they'll just stay there. And again, if they're big enough, it's very hard for me to push them on their side. And so I was asking another guy, he said, oh, we'll do a clock choke. But now I'm looking it up. Clock chokes are only available for gis. It's a lapel choke. Anyways, Microsoft started to dip down. Apple is up. Amazon is up. Google's up. Or no, these are all down, I'm sorry. Amazon down, Google down. Most tech is down right now. Again, here's the SPY on the right. SPY's still cracking lows here, looking really weak. Is it time to buy the dip ahead of the opening bell, or is this bear action just going to continue? The discount works if you at checkout in GeForce. At checkout it works. Bow and arrow choke. Peel out the knee and slide your head. Taking them back. Yep. But if they're big enough, I don't really want to get flattened. Well, you don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Work on escaping side control instead. Yeah, I'm really bad at side control too. Like if somebody, again, I always joke around, right? So like there's like I started with this one guy in jiu-jitsu. And he kind of like took me under his wing and like helped me learn the basics, right? And he's a white belt too, but like he's been doing it longer than me, right? So he kind of took me under his wing and helped me learn. Pretty quickly, like I started to pass other people at the gym up that have been doing it for longer, including this guy to a certain extent. But what he doesn't realize is that I'm just good at taking people down. And so like I can take people down and I have good takedown defense. Like I can sprawl really well, right? And so usually when him and I roll, I end up on top and he's defending from the bottom, right? And so to him, it looks like I got way better. The reality of it is, if you take me down and somehow I get on the bottom, my guard is super weak. You know what I mean? My half guard from bottom, I know like lockdown and stuff like that, so I can kind of stop some people with lockdown and stuff. My bottom side control is super weak. You get me in bottom side control, like that's basically it. You know, like I'm basically done. I can't really, like my defense from the bottom is very weak. And so a lot of people don't even see it because again, I have really good takedown defense. I'd rather just not get taken down. But if they're able to actually take me down, you know, I'm going to get tapped out, most likely. All right, so we cracked lows again. Still breaking down here. Speaking of takedowns, market's still flushing down at 387s. No, I flatten people for sure. Baseball choke. Baseball choke is also it's a gi choke. No, but we did free roll Friday on Friday, and I've gotten pretty good at taking people's back and holding them down, but there was no gi. So like with a gi, it's a little bit different. Again, there's a lot more ways to stabilize with a gi. $228 side core escape reps. Yeah, and I know the escape side control, you post. Right, so you post off of their neck and their knee, and you post and you turn sideways, and you kind of like go like this and then pull back and like get sideways and post off of them. Like I understand that, but if somebody has a really good cross face from side control, you know, it's gonna be very difficult for me to do that. Yeah, for sure, no code. That's what I'm saying. I know the escape from side control is mostly posting off of off of their neck and off of their knees, so that you can bring yourself sideways and then shrimp and then retain guard or you know, get butterfly hooks or whatever it is. Like I know what the escape is, but But still. Free roll Friday. Yeah, free roll Friday is just it's basically anybody can show up and roll. You know, you don't have to be a member of the gym. Anybody can show up and roll. It's no gi. I kind of feel bad though, because if the person I roll with, like, there's been a couple times where the person I've rolled with did not tell me they were brand new, and they just kind of showed up, and you don't know what people's belt rank is whenever it's no gi. So you don't know if you're rolling against like a black belt or if you're rolling against somebody that's never rolled before. And sometimes they don't tell you, and I'll ask them and then they'll still not tell me, and then I'll roll with them and I'll just, you know. You can do a baseball without a gi. Can you really? I'll have to look it up. I don't know. Baseball chokes are always kind of risky because you got to turn your back to them. All right. Anyways, Q still breaking down. Spy still flushing down here. Looks weak. Honestly, most white belts catch problems for putting elbows where they belong from upper belts. Yeah, for sure. No code dad. I mean, I think higher belts. I think it's an ego thing. I think higher belts, I think something that you'll see a lot, right? And this is something that, like, I ran into a few times. And luckily, most people at my gym are pretty cool about it. But something you'll see a lot is, like, higher belts will go easy on white belts, right? So, like, higher belts will go easy on them because they're kind of testing them to see where they're at. They're saying, okay, well, is he going to jump on this? Is he going to do this? Is he going to take this arm bar? Is he going to roll out of it or whatever? Love you.
Love you.
Wait.
Yeah, I know.
You're not doing it?
Well, I'm wearing the shirt.
Oh. All that work for nothing?
Everyone else is just wearing baseball.
Oh, come on, man.
Hey,
Do better, Maddie. Do better.
Jack is here. He needs to watch this video to explain his math. He's doing something with angles.
Okay.
He needs to watch the video, and then I'll help him when I get back. Okay.
All right.
All right. Love you.
Love you.
Leave the door open, okay?
All right.
Love you. The dogs are outside.
All right. Yeah, Department of Energy is what the DOE is. Sorry, my daughter, she's supposed to dress up like the blonde from Jurassic Park today. And we spent the whole night last night getting her ready for this thing where she's supposed to dress up. It was like Jurassic Park something. And now she just looks like normal kid in school clothes. She's not even doing the Jurassic Park thing. All that time wasted. All that energy wasted, you know? But yeah, what I was gonna say, no code dad, is like a lot of higher belts, they let white belts like take certain positions, right? And then but again, the problem is, like, here's an example. Is I was rolling against this blue belt, right? And this blue belt tapped me. He did like a smother tap. He was kind of like, he was big. He was heavy as a blue belt. And so he got me in mount, and he like smother tapped me, which, if you don't know what smother tap is, it's basically like putting the chest over your face so you can't breathe, and so you have to tap. Right, like from mount mostly is where it happens. And so, anyways, when we reset, I'm like, yo, I can't let this dude get on top. Like, I have to stay on top. I cannot let this dude get on top of me. He's too big. I'm gonna have to tap pretty quickly, right? So I had to use my speed and stay on top, right? So I get him in side control. And again, his arm is like this. He's literally going like this with his arm. You know, my guess is to try to sweep me, like try to grab my gi and then sweep me. And so I hurried up and I kind of pivoted and I armbarred him, right? And he tapped. But then afterwards, another guy was kind of mad at me for tapping him through an armbar, right? So I think people get their pride hurt. And I think it's fine if you want to test lower belts, but you also can't be mad if they catch you, you know? And I think that's like a big thing that you see in jiu-jitsu, where they get mad if lower belts catch them. It hurts their pride. And I kind of get it. Like, if I'm a higher belt and a lower belt catches me, you know, it is what it is. But I think you got to be more easy. And I think there's a lot of ego in jiu-jitsu. Just like there's a lot of ego in trading as well. Like, a lot of ego in trading. Nobody wants to be wrong. Everybody wants to make these big, bold predictions. What's up, Jonathan? All right, guys. But yeah. Market's flushing down here. Is it time to buy? I kind of want to buy up a little bit here. Like, listen, this isn't a chart prime trading system or strategy, but I'm going to buy this. We're down too much, I think. I think it's time to start adding it. I'm going to take 2 contracts maybe. There's 1 contract. If we like it, we're going to add 2 to it. Again, I just think we're down so much. I don't think we're going to continue dropping. I know they always say don't catch a falling knife. But I think the market has dipped so much. The momentum might be on the upside now. We'll see. And I've got a big enough cushion. We're up $600 basically today already. And so we've got a little bit of room to let this work. And maybe I'm just going to get punished for this. You don't try out for the next bell. They just promote you when you're ready. But there's a lot of politics around it. Alright, so we cracked lows again. And now we're back to flat, and now we're ripping all the way back up. Let's see if this downwick can mean something, but again, we're flat right now. There we go, green. We got to pop up. Now we're back down. Here we go. Alright, we're going to take half of that off, lock that in. Alright, we're going to take another half of that off. So just made over 100, I think, just now. We're up about 700 on the day. Right now, about 700 on the day. Part of me wants to maybe buy this again because I think we're down too much, and I think we're going to start to potentially rip up some more. We just made 100. We'll trade with that cushion now. One contract, though. We're not going to take more than one. See if we can just let this work a little bit and move up. Alright, so we're starting to creep up a little bit more. Up 40. We should be up more than that, I think, but it's alright. Flat. Starting to retrace. I'm going to cut this if it starts to really flush, just because it's still following that downward trend, and I don't want to get stuck in it. I'm going to cut this here. It's just too risky. So we got out. We're still up over 600 on the day. Yeah, and it looks like that was the right move. We started to flush out. They always say don't catch a falling knife, and that's probably true. All right, we got 20 minutes here, 20 minutes team. And again, last week was a very good week here for my channel here, team. All right, we might start buying this up here. I'm going to try buying it again. Kind of a risky position. I just think we're going to start heading up again. And I think it's time to head up. I think we've dropped enough to where we should get some upward movement here. See if we get a little pop up and then nice. There's a rip up. Nice. Now we just locked in a little bit more. Scalping it. But yeah, it's been a really fun few weeks here, guys. Like, look at the growth my channel's had over the last couple weeks. Again, Friday's Powell speech got 33,000 views. The Tesla Cybertruck again got 40,000, 6,000. You keep going back. Nvidia earnings got 22,000. Fed minutes got 12,000. CPI got 18,000. Powell got 14,000. You know, Jerome Powell again 27,000. So been a really fun few weeks, man. We've had a lot of growth. So thanks so much for the growth. We broke 120,000 subs. And hopefully we keep it up. Now we're going to get ready. Potentially start to optimize the stream for day trading at the open. Alright guys, so again we're getting ready to day trade futures. We've been trading stocks at the open mostly. Or we've been day trading futures mostly today, so alright. Alright guys, so let's see. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Alright, so again, we're still getting the Nasdaq and the Q breakdown here. I'm gonna put this up so we get to watch both of these at once. Yeah, we're trading futures. You got John, since gold just hit an all-time high, does that mean I can sell my gold ring for more now? I mean, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I would ask a jeweler, brother. I'm not sure. Probably. It depends on how much how much gold is in it, but probably. Again, if you haven't already, check out Topstep. We are day trading a funded account program in futures. This is our P&L so far today. And so again, you can see we're up $620 on the day. We have our win-loss ratio of 3.75 to 1. Pretty solid win-loss ratio. That's our graph. We've got a nice little cushion built up on the day. And again, the easiest way if you want to day trade with no PDT roll futures. No PDT in futures. You can day trade short in futures. No PDT restrictions. And Topstep is the most legit funded program in the world. Again, a lot of people don't realize, like, they try to day trade with a cash account, or they try to day trade with, you know, 25K. You don't need that much day trading, like in day trading. You don't need to risk that much. You could try a funded account program. If you lose, you're only out what you paid for the funded account program. In this case, it's $49 for the base one. But if you're good enough to pass it, you still get a 90% split. You still get, you know, very similar to putting up the money up yourself, just less risk. And I think that makes a ton of sense. Again, check them out. Here's the link. Again, they are a sponsor of mine. I'm super biased, of course, because they're a sponsor of mine. But check them out. All right, we're still breaking down. I'm going to start to buy this up again. I think we're down enough to where I could probably start to buy some more and catch a little pop. All right, there's a little pop. See if we get a little bit larger one. We're just down so much already. I don't think this weakness. All right, there we go. We just made about $70. We are now up about 700 on the day. 4 to 1 win-loss ratio. Currently, we're up 685 right now. I still think this might bounce up even more here too. Yeah, there's the bounce. I probably could have made a little bit more on it, but it's all right. Alright, so we're starting to consolidate. Again, I might add a little bit more to this here too. She's broken lows over and over again. I hope it doesn't break it again. Right around lows, down 25 bucks. Got a new candle opening up. At a certain point, momentum is going to keep weighing it down, but see if we pop up. There we go. That looks good. Flat. I don't like that rejection. I'm going to cut that quick. Alright, we're still up 620 on the day. It's CBD. All right, guys. So, yeah, we're just kind of sitting tight waiting here. We got 11 minutes left, 10 and a half minutes until market opens. So we're trying to be patient. We've already made a good little run this morning. All right, so Google is postponing the launch of its Gemini AI to early 2024, according to a report. Let me see what Google's doing today. Yeah, so Google's down a lot. But this might be what's weighing tech down too. It's always kind of screwy near the open. Yeah, I mean, we've just had some big breakdowns here. So, like, again, my bias is to the upside, to be honest. I just think we're down so much. I don't think we've got too much room, but I think anything can happen. And, of course, you know, stocks can stay nonsensical. You've just been downtrending for so long now. Alright, so there's a little bit of a green move, but again, you can also see this little mini trend that I'm showing on the charts. Ford total vehicle sales came in at 145.5. Alright, so we'll see if we just continue in this downtrend. This is the first major pop that we've had in a minute. We still got 7.5 minutes until the market opens. Which direction do you think the market's going to go at the opening bell, team? Yeah, but I think we already have dumped a little bit on that dev, so I think we're already down some, you know. And so I think the question is, do we bounce back now, or like what happens? Because we've already dropped significantly. Like, these are not small dips. Like, look at the SPY. Here's the Q on the right. Market's already down a lot. And so the question is more so, do we just keep on dropping, or do we finally bounce back a little bit? I think is the question. And again, I don't know. I don't know. I hope we get some good action. But the market opens up in 5 minutes or so. 6.5 minutes. Or 6 minutes, I mean. Yeah, big dumps. So this is the Nasdaq on the left, basically the Q. Here's the SPY on the right. Big pullback here, man. Wow. Again, the opening bell is in about 5 minutes here, team. 5 minutes. Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of you guys talking about we're crashing here, team. Again, if you look at the SPY here, guys. Again, you can't sensationalize the market, even if you want us to dip. I mean, here's the last 20 days on the top right. Like, this chart right here on the top right is the last 20 days, guys. Today's pullback is this. You know what I mean? So, I mean, again, we can act like the market's all of a sudden crashing because that's what you guys want. But, like, we're just not there yet, guys. We're just not there yet. Maybe we do crash again, I don't know. But we're certainly not there yet. You know, let's have reasonable expectations here. Right, exactly. Less of a crash, more of just a dip. Oh, we definitely have more room for sure. All right, guys, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, really. Q was down a whopping 1% this morning. Yeah, for sure. Again, what happens, this is what generally happens, right? Like, the reason you see a lot of people acting like we're crashing is because ego is huge in trading, right? And so what you'll see is you'll see a bunch of people predicting crashes, right? And then the market will just kind of push up and prove them wrong. And so then to hold on to their kind of predictions, every little 1-2% drop, it's like, aha, see? I told you. And it's like, I don't know. Yeah. It's something you see a lot in trading. It really is. And again, same thing probably on the upside. But again, the easiest way to do it with it, there's a very common saying. It says, when in doubt, zoom out. Here's a 20-day chart. And so we're actually right at where we opened on Friday. And so we're not really going to be in crash territory. I mean, again, if you want to see like genuine crash predictions, what would be the minimum considered to be a crash at 455 would be hold on. Would be the 364 level. So to crash, it would have to hit here to be considered a crash relative to where we are now. And again, that's just so unlikely. I mean, maybe, but again, as you guys can obviously see, we're nowhere even close to that. Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, we did hit 120K. Yeah, and a lot of it can just boil down to people getting too wrapped up. A lot of like flaws, like a lot of trolls, like a lot of nonsense, a lot of haters on this channel. You could usually boil it down to like people who get too wrapped up in politics, right? And I question like how gullible people are. Like, again, I'm neutral politically. I don't care. I'm not against you. Again, I'm really not. I'm not against either side. I dislike both sides. But But if you get really wrapped up in politics, like I think people are more susceptible to tribalism, for lack of a better word. Anyways. We're at 455.50s. Q bouncing back a little bit. We'll see if this continues. Yeah, gotta remember to zoom out 100%. Alright, so here's the opening bell, team. Market's finally getting a little bit of that bounce back. "45 seconds, 45 seconds. Big pullbacks ahead of the opening bell and then a small bounce back prior. All right, here we go, 15 seconds. All right, here's the opening bell, guys. Good luck. All right, flat open. All right, so we're taking this long trade here. We're up about 135. We just took that off. Again, you can kind of see we grounded this up. Now we are up about 8 on the day, about 800. We'll take it. Big upwick retracement though on the Nasdaq. I don't know if I like that at all. We get Nvidia all the way down to 457. So that looks weak, and that might drag everything down. We're gonna short now. Nvidia's flushing, and I think that might drag everything else down. I think the risk reward's good enough here, but there's risks. All right, we're starting to flush. Nvidia down to 457s. There we go. We're back red. Shaking out shorts. There we go. All right, we just got out of that too. We're now up about 850 or so on the day. Again, I mostly thought this was weak because of Nvidia's weakness. Yeah, so there's the forefront. Again, you can kind of see Nvidia start to break down, but I'd let it stabilize really quick first, unless you just see big red action. That might, if you see really big red action, you might be able to piggyback off of that. SPY actually green at the opening bell, which is even more strange versus the Nasdaq here. So we're gonna short this real quick. We're gonna cover that, scalp that too. Up about 900 on the day. What's Apple doing? Apple's red. Microsoft's really red. I'm gonna short this here up here, team. Scalping. Add a little bit more. I'm gonna get out here. We just got out. We finally lost a little bit. Again, we're up 800 plus on the day, but watching the E-mini rip. So again, very strange, but the S&P 500 is pushing up while the Nasdaq's falling down. I'm questioning what could be the root cause of this push up in the S&P. Walmart. What sector's pushing up, team? Anybody know? Is it healthcare? Healthcare. Okay. So finally the Nasdaq. So it looks like the S&P led this a little bit here. All right, so S&P starting to rip. Nvidia starting to bounce back. It's at 458s. Again, S&P just surged it up, which is very interesting. What's the difference? Let me see. There's some stocks that are different. I started to get a big surge here, guys, a big pop. Again, S&P still surging up here. Might try to buy this Nasdaq dip. See if we flush back up some. Punished. Man, just turning on me quick. Had to cut that fast. Hey, buddy. Hey, what you doing, man? Jack? Hey, how you doing, bro? Here, hold on, guys. All right, sorry team, had to handle something in the background, but yeah, Dow is starting to push up. Sorry, we switched from the Dow. Look at the SPY, very choppy. I'm stopping my trading for the day. Although my equities portfolio is looking a lot better, a lot better. Again, will the market bounce back? This is why I always try to tell people, like, look, maybe we're pulling back. People have to stop sensationalizing 1% dips. All right, so market's mostly flat, consolidating right now. Hey, nice Ollie. It's not about the present dip. It's about the fact that Nvidia has seen 450s in such a short time after seeing 500. Yeah, but if we look at Nvidia here, brother, like, look, that's how Nvidia moves. Like, if you're acting like that's somehow some like super bearish thing, again, this is Nvidia over the last 4 months, man. Like, again, look at the chart. Like, this is how Nvidia moves lately. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Like, this is what it's done. It hit 500 here, pulled back, back up, back down again. Like, we can act like this is somehow some super bearish thing, but my guess is that's just short bias. Like, people are biased to the short side. And maybe, again, maybe we do dip, maybe we do crash, but this pullback so far in Nvidia doesn't mean it for sure. I mean, again, when you got a history of a chart that looks like this over the last 4 months, like, again, I think this is just normal trend for Nvidia now, which has basically been consolidating between 400 and 500 now for months. Again, maybe not, but all right, so there's the Dow pushing up a little bit. Market is so flat right now. I'm probably not going to keep pushing on days like today. If I do, maybe we'll switch accounts. Tomorrow we got the JOLTS report coming out. All right, the Dow just pushed up. The Dow's kind of a little bit different though relative to everything else. Again, here's the Nasdaq. So flat right now, team. I don't know if I want to trade this right now. Yeah, I'm probably going to end it a little bit earlier, guys, and just keep this stream short. Again, if you want to check out topstep, trade with me on topstep. Again, topstep is the most legit funded program in the world. They give you a demo, test your skill. If you can hit the target without hitting the max loss, they fund you between 50 to 150K with a 90% split. Pay out millions, fund thousands of traders a year. Great way to learn day trading. Again, most pro traders actually day trade futures because there's no PDT rule in futures. You can day trade essentially the Q, essentially the SPY, and what's called the Nasdaq and the E-mini. Same price action, at least different prices. And again, there's better liquidity. You can try out futures with less red tape. There's no PDT rule. You can day trade, buy market, sell market, all that stuff. And again, you can learn how to day trade using these funded account programs instead of putting up your own money and risking thousands. And in that regard, it makes perfect sense. If you want to check out topstep, they're the most legit futures funded program in the world. They've been around for over a decade. They pay out millions in actual withdrawals every year. They fund thousands of traders a year. Again, learn how to day trade cheaper. Again, I wish I had something like this when I first got started. And again, you can check out the link right there. Why am I done trading? Because the market's going up, down, up, down, up. And again, I got some other stuff I got to do today. And so I'll probably bow out for the rest of the day. Again, check out my Chart Prime service as well. Again, this is a company that I've been using a ton. They're a sponsor of mine also. But again, just to put this into perspective, they called this big breakdown on Chart Prime. You can see I set alerts, and you can see the alerts show up right here for the E-mini. But again, they called this big breakdown. Pretty impressive. Again, I challenge you. This one's called the regular market oracle. Buy. Strong sell signal. Look at the huge drops you got afterwards. Sell signal here. Beautiful drops. Buy signal here. Worked. Strong sell signal there. Worked. This buy signal maybe didn't work. This one definitely worked. This one definitely worked. And so out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, one didn't work, arguably, in my opinion. One didn't work. So that's pretty solid. And again, tons of stuff. I can put up chart patterns. I can put up a daily chart and look at long-term patterns if I want to take some long-term technical trades. You know, again, buy signal bounce. Look at the buy signal right here. Boom. Sell signal here. And this is a daily chart. Impressive. Again, there's also back tester for lifetime members. Smart money concepts. If you like smart money concepts, you know, check out to see when there's equilibrium, when there's cheap stuff. Their oscillators are some of the best in the game too. And so I recommend you guys to learn how to do all this. Look at the smart money concept stuff. Again, $50 a month. I think they can obviously pay for themselves. Market's very flat. I'll see you guys later. Y'all good luck. If you want to check out Chart Prime, here's that link as well. Good luck, team. Our link is in the description if you want to check out Chart Prime. I'll see you guys later.